Welcome to the Snowpark Series by Angela Harney, Session 4, Create a Snowpark Connection. Watch all videos in this series in order to complete an entire solution for Snowpark. Angela Harney is a data engineer with extensive years of experience and is certified in Snowflake. We will be covering Snowpark libraries, debugging, and connections. The videos in this series are intended for you to be able to pause the video and follow the steps listed in detail on the slide. Snowpark is an API that, when connecting to it, executes SQL queries. The data is queried on special JVMs that are specifically set for scale and will execute on Snowflake's compute and storage rather than your local workstation's capabilities. We are going to use the starter project we created in the last video. In this video, add the Snowpark libraries, query Snowflake, and view results in the Debug console window. After opening the starter project from the last video, add the name of a package to the top of the file and the Snowpark library import statements above the object main class as shown here. We will need to copy the supporting library files to our project folder. We will learn how to do that on the next slide. Copy the lib folder from the Snowpark directory and the snowpark.jar file from the root of the Snowpark directory, both to a lib directory below your project folder. You will also need to add the following 3 lines of dependencies to your build.spt file. We will be working with a sample fitness company. Create the following database and tables in Snowflake so that you can follow along with the steps in this video series. Start Debug to make sure your starter application runs. Be sure your Scala version is correct and troubleshoot any issues. The starter project worked when we ran Hello World, but after adding libraries, you may have additional issues arise. Use the troubleshooting steps on these slides to help resolve them. Changing the version in the build.spt file may cause 2 target folders to be created. It is okay to delete the folder that does not match the version listed in your build.spt file. Also, it is okay to delete the launch.json file in the .vs code folder if you need to start over with those settings. Now, add a map object consisting of Snowflake Connection settings. Change the account, username and role, and the warehouse, database, and schema if necessary as well. In the connection settings, you can either use a password that sits in clear text in your file, or log into AWS in Chrome and use the Authenticator setting to connect. Using Authenticator will auto-launch a browser that will let you know when you can close it. Next, create a session object that sends in the map configs object as a parameter and debug your application. The code shown here will only connect to Snowflake and show Hello World, but is an example of debugging one step at a time. Now we're ready to run a SQL query. If we run the Snowflake command show tables on the session object, we will get a list of the tables we created in the schema found in the connection settings. The .show method will display the query results. Be sure to click View Debug Console in order to see the results. When you review the other output in the Debug console, you may see that it refers to Snowpark Lazy Analysis. We will cover more on lazy evaluation for Snowpark later in this video series.